बेस्ट टीचर्स के गाइडेंस में पढ़ना इजियर होगा। एग्जाम या हो लाइफ, अब से हर स्टूडेंट विनर होगा। समझ आएगा तो मजा आएगा। Vedantu, learn live online. To attend a free live class, download the app now.
Hey students, Namaste. Welcome back to another session of our class in ICSE Biology Fast Track series. This is Ambika, Master Teacher of Biology at Vedantu. Now we have entered into the month of February, which is going to be a very, very crucial month for all of you. Yes, I hope your preparations are all going calm and cool, and make sure you retain your composure at all times. There's nothing to get worried or stressed out at all about your board exams. So let's not think about all of that. Definitely, I'm sure by now you have written at least 2 or 3 pre-boards. Even if you have not, I'm assuming you have at least been following all the instructions your school teachers and we here have been giving you, in the sense practicing mock papers and sample papers and all of that. As long as you keep doing that and are honest with yourself, along with having some time for your own relaxation, whatever will actually relax your mind and body, absolutely fine. You are definitely on the right track. Okay. So now today it's going to be part 2 of our plant physiology fast track series. Yes, part 1. We had a wonderful live session. Today, unfortunately, it's not going to be live, but nevertheless, I will be watching all your comments, all your chats while the session is getting premiered. And please do remember to post your comments in the comment section below. Okay, so let's get started, children. The first question. Choose the correct answer. Okay, so the first sub-question under that is, growth of tendrils of pea plant around a support is an example of, is it chemotropism, phototropism, geotropism or thigmotropism? Yes, I think this is very simple. You don't need too much time to answer it. And your time ends in 3, 2, 1 and go. Okay, let's look at the example. Yes. This is what it is. The pea plant is a very good example for such a case wherein, look at it, look at what is happening. There are the stem tendrils and there are leaf tendrils. So what exactly are they doing? Stem tendrils help the plant to climb up a support. Leaf tendrils also help a plant to climb up a support. But what is it an example for? Look at the options once again. If you have not got the right answer yet, chemotropism, phototropism, geotropism or thigmotropism. Think about the elimination method. If you cannot come up with the answer, yes, absolutely right. The correct answer is thigmotropism. Because the tendrils come in touch with the supporting surface, growth tends to be according to that. Okay, that is what thigmotropism is. Movement in response to a touch stimulus. Okay, next one. The function of light energy in photosynthesis is to dash. Is it to activate chloroplast? Is it to split water, reduce carbon dioxide or synthesize glucose? Yes, children. Which of these is the correct answer? Role of light energy in photosynthesis. Photo, the name, the prefix photo itself is because of that. What is the significance? And your time ends in 3, 2, 1 and go. Yes, here we go. Light energy helps in the splitting of water into hydrogen ions and oxygen. And the energy released in that is further used up in the formation of ATP. Okay, so there we go. We call that process, remember what it's called? Breakdown of water in the presence of light. Yes, there's a beautiful name to it. It's called photolysis or photolysis. Splitting, lysis is splitting and photo is light. Okay, splitting in the presence of light. What is getting split? Water is getting split. So there we go. The correct answer is to split water. Now, third question. Okay, this was asked in 2016, as you can see, which was not very far away. A plant cell may burst when, this can be a little tricky if you do not know what Turgor pressure means and wall pressure means. Okay, so actually I really like this question. It's neither very straightforward nor is it too hard to answer. If you just think about the meaning of each of them, you will be able to arrive at the answer. Okay, so what is Turgor pressure? What is wall pressure? Which of these conditions would result in bursting of the plant cell? Okay, and your time ends in 3, 2, 1 and go. Okay, so let's try to understand what Turgor pressure and wall pressure is. Now, they are in fact two forces which are pretty much equal, okay, equal in force but opposite in direction. Turgor pressure is the pressure that is exerted over the cell wall by the contents of the cell, whereas wall pressure is the pressure, as you can see here, the pressure exerted by the cell wall. Okay, pressure exerted by the cell wall over the contents of the cell. So Turgor pressure in this direction, wall pressure in the opposite direction. The wall is exerting the pressure. It's exerting the pressure on the contents of the cell, right? So considering that meaning, which condition among those that I had given you among the options would result in bursting of the plant cell? Yes, absolutely right. Your answer would be when Turgor pressure exceeds wall pressure. Do you have a confusion in that? Look at that. Turgor pressure, when it is pressure exerted by the cell contents over the cell wall. When that exceeds wall pressure, obviously it breaks open, right? When wall pressure is more, it wouldn't burst out. It would rather exert the force into the cell, right? So bursting would happen when inner force is much higher than the outer force. Okay. All right. So coming to the next question, salt is added to pickles because, okay, it adds taste, it acts as a preservative, it causes endosmosis. Okay. What do you think the answer is? Or is it all of these? Yeah, I forgot to tell you the option, all of these. Okay. Yes, and there we go. Let's look at a beautiful jar of pickle. Yes, we Indians are very fond of pickle, right? I personally am not a fan of pickle, but sometimes with certain dishes I really love having pickle. I'm very fond of amla pickle, but not really most other pickles like mango, lemon and all that. Not that I hate them, but it's not like I have a huge fascination for them or anything. With paratha and all of those, I really love them as an accompaniment, but not for daily South Indian meals. Okay, so now have a look at this. This is a normal cell, okay, that I've shown you here. This is the cell wall, what you can see, the green structure there. And now here what happens? The cells showing contraction of cytoplasm, okay? B and C, both of them are showing you the contraction of cytoplasm. And finally, here you have a plasmolysed cell. Plasmolysis is happening. What happens when plasmolysis occurs? All the contents of the cell, inside the cell, shrink inward away from the cell wall. Okay, now apart from plants, now this is probably a plant cell that you are relating with, but I'm not talking about plant cells. There are other organisms which possess a cell wall as well. What are those? Yes, there are many of them, but bacteria, fungi also. But fungi, the composition of cell wall is a little different. So anyway, let's not think about that now. We are talking about bacteria, mainly about bacteria which can possibly affect or infect the pickles. So what do? We add a lot of salt to the pickle, to the solution of the pickle, so that if at all there is any bacterial growth in the pickles stored in the jar, the salty solution outside can draw out everything inside the sap of the cell of those organisms, causing it to plasmolyze, which means it's ultimately killing it. They cannot survive in that condition. They cannot survive in that environment, the highly saline environments. So yes, the answer is it acts as a preservative. Okay, so possibly I guess something that you might be confused about is it causes endosmosis. It's not endosmosis. Endosmosis would occur when there is a semi-permeable membrane. We are talking about bacteria which have a cell wall. So it's not osmosis, right? It's plasmolysis that would happen in such a case, which is why 3 or C is not the option. The first one says salt adds taste. So considering that, I actually think it's certainly also a valid answer, but that is not the main reason we add salt to pickles. It's mainly because it acts as a preservative. Okay, so going ahead, another choose the correct answer. Forests contribute to bringing rain by which of these? Guttation, transpiration, bleeding, or all of these? Okay, your time ends in 3, 2, 1 and go. Yes, so here we go. This is somewhere relevant to you. It would help you think along the right direction to come up with the answer. Yes, what is it? You have forests in this part. What are they doing? You can obviously see that they are all transpiring. Transpiration, what does it do to the environment? What does it do? It adds water vapor or moisture content into the atmosphere, right? So when that happens, what occurs? Well, ultimately, it's adding to or aiding in precipitation in the form of rain, right? Rain, snow, whatever it may be. In our parts of the country, in most parts of our country, it is in the form of rain, right? Yes, so that is what transpiration helps with, and hence our correct answer here is also transpiration, because it adds to the vapor, water vapor content in the atmosphere. Okay, and now let's go to question number 2. Give scientific reason for the following, and the first one in that is, it is not advisable to sleep under a tree at night. Now, this was asked in the year 2010. Okay, so of course it is a bit far off when you think of it like 10 years ago, but never mind, it is still a sensible question to be asked at any point of time. Why is it not advisable to sleep under a tree at night? I have told you this when we were doing the respective chapter. So let's see how many of you remember that. Yes, this is what it is. Look at this guy, seemingly peacefully sleeping under the tree at night. The moon is there. He has a big smile and he is lying down under the tree, fast asleep. But why is this wrong? Why is he doing a wrong thing? Because during the night time, photosynthesis doesn't occur, which means oxygen doesn't get added by the trees or by the plants into the atmosphere. Rather, plants are also only respiring. Humans and animals are also respiring, which means around a tree or sleeping in a place where there are a lot of plants means that carbon dioxide concentration in that part and in that area is very, very high. Which means ultimately what happens? Carbon dioxide poisoning can occur. Eventually, in very severe cases, death can also possibly occur. Right? So there we go. That was the answer to your question. Because plants do not photosynthesize at night, they only respire. So too much carbon dioxide concentration. Okay, so you can basically write that carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere would be very high. Okay. Now, going ahead to the next one. Stomata are located more on the ventral side of a leaf. Yes. Why do you think so? Now, I think this could possibly come as a true or false question also. And if false, you have to write why it is false. Now, anyway, because it's give a scientific reason for it's a correct statement, obviously. They are located more on the ventral side of a leaf and not on the dorsal side, right? So we have to know, probably from the given statement itself, you can guess ventral side actually refers to the lower side of a leaf and dorsal side refers to the upper part of a leaf. Okay, so basically there are more stomata on the ventral side of a leaf in order to reduce transpiration. It's a natural mechanism for the plant. Okay, if this is the leaf, this is probably the upper side and you would have fewer stomata in them as compared to what would be below it. Now, probably it's a little tricky for me to represent the lower side for you in the form of a picture. Imagine this is the lower side. You would have more number of stomata in this. Yes, the sun, the smart and handsome sun is out there shining bright. So what happens? This is not rain, it's just sun's rays falling on the leaf. Okay, so what happens when it's falling directly on the plant? It's actually falling more or directly on the upper part of the leaf, which is the dorsal part of the leaf, which means transpiration is quite likely to happen more from that side, right? So in order to reduce unnecessary water loss, nature had a magical solution. It gave a leaf more number of stomata on the below surface where sunlight wouldn't directly fall. So transpiration would still happen, but with a little bit of control, so that the plant is also able to retain a little bit of water for itself. Okay. Now, write the exact location of the following. This came in 2011. Hydathodes. What are hydathodes? Remember what they are? Yes, they are parts of a plant, parts of a leaf rather, which help in the process we call guttation. Yes, remember, this is the structure of a hydathode, and hydathodes beautifully help in guttation. Remember, I remember showing you these pictures while we were discussing that. So yes, they are found mostly along the leaf margins, the hydathodes. Okay, so one more thing, children, when such a question is asked, you don't have to waste time unnecessarily writing what they do, or even guttation for that matter. The question is just write the location. Look at that. Write the exact location of the following, which means give it to the point crisp answer. You can just write hydathodes are found along the leaf margins. I put these diagrams here only for your reference so that you could connect better. But this is all that would be required from your side. Now, location of lenticels. This came twice, 2012 and 2015. Where do you find lenticels? Yes, lenticels are located on older stems, the bark, which we call the bark. They help in transpiration, which is called lenticular transpiration. Okay. Yes. Now, children, these are the children who were very sincere students of Vedantu in the last academic year, which means they are 1 year senior to you and came out with flying colors. You can certainly be there. Just make sure you work very hard and sincerely and with full honesty and dedication to yourself, and you must know what exactly to do in this 1 month. I think all the teachers here at Vedantu also, and at your school also, I'm pretty sure they would be giving you a lot of guidance on how to utilize this month. So do go by all of that. And this is the team that we have. As you know, we started off the ICSE series in the month of October with just myself. And now for fast track, most certainly and most importantly, we have come up as a team. You can see there's Abhishek sir, there's Ambika Mam, myself and Gopal sir, all of us to help you with the respective subjects in science and math. Okay, so there we go. Our support is always there for you. That was just a reminder for that. Okay, now state whether true or false, and if false, write the correct statement. The solvent used to dissolve the chlorophyll pigments while testing a leaf for starch is soda lime. This was asked in 2017, just 3 years ago. Okay. Is it right or wrong? I mean, is it true or false? And if it's false, what do you think is the correct answer? Yes, this is actually false. And what would be the right answer? The solvent used to dissolve the chlorophyll pigments while testing a leaf for starch is, what did we have here? Soda lime. It's actually not soda lime. So that is what is wrong there. This is what is wrong. The answer would be spirit or methyl alcohol. Okay, which is why it's important to read the question completely. You would certainly find something. Now, lenticular transpiration occurs in herbs. Is this true or false? I think I've given you a hint by giving you a similar related question some time back, just a couple of minutes ago. This is also a false statement, because lenticular transpiration occurs in old stems and not in green herbaceous stems. Okay. Now, leaves wilt due to exosmosis. Okay, is this true or false? And this is actually a true statement. Exosmosis. Okay, water coming out of the leaf, exosmosis, and that results in wilting of leaves. All right, now children, microcauses. These are something that we still have a very good offer for you. You can use the code AMMIC to avail a 50% off. And yes, how do you go about it? How do you find the microcourse of your choice? The link is given here, and you can also find the link for microcourses in the description box that's right below this video. You have access to like more than 2000 micro courses right there. What exactly are they? Those of you who are new to this session or new to Vedantu, let me tell you, these are courses which have been designed for your needs, keeping in mind that you may need help only with specific subjects or specific chapters. So they are basically chapter specific courses which you can avail at a price as low as 11. Okay, you have all of these features for each chapter out there available at such a reasonable price. So do make use of it, children. Now is the month to get extra help or whatever you need, so that next month or end of this month, by the time you start your board exams, you are completely prepared for it. You shouldn't be running around on the eve of the exam for looking for micro courses or looking for other help. Okay, yes, so the code, do not remember AMMIC to avail this 50% off. All right, now next question, differentiate between active transport and diffusion on the basis of what is mentioned in brackets. Okay, so what is given in brackets is significance in plants. So what are you supposed to do? Difference between active transport and diffusion. Not just any random difference between those two. You must differentiate between them based on their respective significance in plants. Yes. How do you do this? Now, in case you've forgotten what diffusion and active transport are, here it is. Active transport is transport with the expenditure of energy. And diffusion without energy, but it can either be simple or facilitated with the help of certain carrier molecules. Okay, but anyway, let's differentiate between them. Active transport is absorption of mineral salts such as nitrates against the concentration gradient. Like for instance, from the soil to root hair cells, it is against the concentration gradient, right? So what happens when you have to go about for a movement against the gradient? It means extra energy is required, which is why we call it active transport. Now keep in mind, children, a very simple way to remember the difference between diffusion and active transport is the fact that active refers to energetic, which means energy utilizing. Okay, yes. And what about diffusion? Diffusion is, I mean, the significance of diffusion is in exchange of respiratory gases, transpiration, and all of those. Okay, so these are, or rather this is the difference between the two of them with respect to their significance in the plant. Okay, or significance to the plant. Yes. Now the next question, there we go. The given figure shows a root hair. Label the parts 1 to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You've been given 4 parts. You are supposed to label them. Okay, let's see how many of you come up with the correct labels. All right, let's look at that. What do you think it would be? What do you think is 1? Yes, 1 is the nucleus of the cell. 1, nucleus. Yes, it's been pointing there. 2 is the vacuole. 2 is the vacuole of the cell. You know the vacuole in plant cells is very large, right? It's filled with a lot of sap. Thirdly, the cell wall. Number 3, look at that. 3 and 4 can be a little confusing, but outermost is what is 3. So it has to be the cell wall. What about 4? 4 has to be what's right inner to that, which is the cell membrane. Very, very, very simple if you think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the labels. Okay? Yes. Now the next one. Next sub question. What is the role of part 4? What was part 4? We labeled it as the cell membrane, right? So what do you think its role is? Yes, it is semi-permeable in nature, which is the most important feature of it. And why is that important? It allows only certain substances dissolved in water to pass through it and not anything and everything. Okay. And the next sub question, the root hair is an extension of dash cell. Can sound a little tricky, but it's certainly something that you know. The root cell, okay, let me not block your view. The root hair cell or root hair is an extension of dash cell. What is it? Yes, and your time is up. The answer is epidermal cell, an extension of epidermal cell. Okay, now what happens to the root hair if a fertilizer is added to the soil near the root hair? Okay, apply your common sense. What do you think would happen? You're applying fertilizer near the root hair inside the soil. How do you think the root hair would respond to it? How do you think it would react to it? Yes. So here we go. Water would obviously move out of the root hair because I'm sorry, I've put two the's there, okay, so ignore one of them, because soil turns hypertonic. What is hypertonic? A lot of fertilizer has been added, which means too much of solute concentration outside it. What does your fertilizer contain? It can contain a lot of minerals like N, P, K, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and all of those, which means it's making the soil medium hypertonic. Okay, and what happens when the root hair is in a hypertonic solution or a hypertonic condition? It loses water, right? When it loses water, the root hair ends up becoming limp. Okay, so that would be the answer to that question. Now coming to the last question for the day. The apparatus shown here is an experimental setup of a certain aspect of photosynthesis. A plant was placed in the dark for 24 hours and then a leaf was taken and tested for starch. Okay, what is the aim of this experiment? What is the aim of this experiment? Tell me that. Look at the setup. Okay, what is it trying to prove? Okay, there we go. The answer is to show that carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis, which means it's necessary to make glucose and ultimately starch in the plant body. So importance of carbon dioxide is what we are trying to prove there. Okay, now next sub question, the same main one, the sub question is different. How is chlorophyll removed from the leaf? Okay, how do you think we do that? Yes, we've been talking a lot about this, right? Chlorophyll is removed by boiling the leaf in alcohol. Okay, yes. The next one, why is it necessary to grease the glass sheet? Now look at that, it's labeled as a greased glass sheet, this one, right? Why is this necessary? Why is it greased? Can't we just place any glass sheet? It has a reason. A greased glass sheet is present so that air can be prevented from entering the jar. Otherwise, our results cannot be trusted, right? So it should be completely made air-free. The setup has to be made completely air-free, which is ensured by greasing the glass sheet. Okay. Now, what is the purpose of KOH, potassium hydroxide? Yes, it's written here, potassium hydroxide solution. What do you think is the need for that? Why do you keep it in a bowl there or in a container there? Think of the aim of the experiment. It was to prove that carbon dioxide is essential, right? So what do you think KOH can possibly do? Yes, it's actually there to absorb the carbon dioxide. And that is the only way you can check what would happen to the plant in the absence of carbon dioxide. Does it photosynthesize at all? Yes, so it's a very, very important part of photosynthesis. And there we go, children. We come to the end of Plant Physiology Fast Track. Here is the ICSE 10 complete biology playlist. Those of you who have not been part of my biology ICSE series, please go to the playlist and have a look at them. Whatever topics, whatever chapters you have difficulty understanding with, please pick them and do make it a point to watch that video. As I said, you don't have many days remaining for your board exam, probably like a little more than 3 weeks, right? So this is the time to plan out and clear out all the concepts that you need help with. And one way you can do this for biology is by going ahead to the playlist and watching the relevant videos. We also have 5 videos which we did for the diagram series, because diagram based questions for your ICSE exams are very, very important, right? So already we had 2 questions at the end today also, mostly coming from these chapters, mostly coming from these plant physiology chapters, because they have a lot of scope for that, a lot of experiments to learn. So make sure you understand all of them. You will get better practice if you just went through the diagram series once. And yes, as you know, we have fast track series for all the subjects. So this is the complete playlist of fast track for all the subjects. Unfortunately, for the other subjects apart from biology, we don't have a full playlist. But fast track, yes, definitely we will be covering every chapter that's in your ICSE board exam. And I'm not sure how many of you have been following me on Students Corner, which is a separate list, a separate playlist that you can find if you went into our channel Vedantu 9 and 10, wherein I give a 5 to 15 minute motivation video every day. At least once every day this happens, a new video goes, because motivation, we here at Vedantu believe that motivation is also an extremely important part of a student's preparation. No matter how well you know your concepts, you must know how to approach your studies, you must know what to keep in mind so that you are completely focused on your studies. Okay, so this is basically aimed at that. A lot of videos are out there. Please go ahead and have a look, and we still come up with new videos even now every single day. And if you have enjoyed this session, children, do remember to hit the like button right now. Please do share it with all your friends, especially your class 10 ICSE friends, so that they can also benefit from this. And do subscribe to the channel Vedantu 9 and 10 if you haven't done that yet. But in addition, if you have anything more to ask me, anything more that I can help you with, please feel free to post it in the comment section below, or even more personally, if you don't want others to see it, you can even send me an email at ambika.gopalakrishnan@vedantu.com. Remember, children, my spelling is, this is what my correct spelling is, because I'm telling you this because many children have been telling me the emails haven't been reaching me, right? So this is the correct spelling, and that's about it until I see you again in the next session, again next week, end of next week, which will be on the chapters on human anatomy and physiology. This is Ambika signing off. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye bye.